about for the freshman council. First, the candidate will be answering moderated questions that have already been prepared. Each candidate will have 1 minute to respond to each question. We are running a slate. One representative will answer each question posed. At the end of the moderated question portion, the audience will be able to pose questions to the candidate about their platforms and intended plans for their desired positions. Again, candidate, you will have 1 minute to respond. In addition, please hold your applause until the close of each portion of tonight's event. Again, thank you for attending tonight's event, and we will now begin. Candidate, please take 30 seconds to introduce yourself and your platform.
Hello everyone, my name is Swadu Berry. I'm a freshman health science major from the Bronx, New York City on the pre-med track, and I'm running for CNAHS Freshman Council Vice President. I'm running with the SAS Girls, and we stand for Support, Action, Scholarship, and Service. Thank you.
First question. What initiatives or events would you make to make freshmen feel more supported?
Thank you for your question. One of the first events I would like to do is create mentorship opportunities within CNAHS. Working in healthcare is very hard. It is a very lonely and challenging path, and having people who have done the things that you're struggling with and are achieving the things that you want to achieve is extremely important when you want to succeed in healthcare. Additionally, I would probably do community bonding events like sip and paint and just other opportunities for other CNAHS freshmen to get to know each other and create a home away from home. Thank you.
Question 2. How would you balance advocating for freshman needs with working alongside university administration?
Thank you for that question. When working alongside university administration, it's extremely important to understand the needs and wants of your freshmen and the people that you're representing. Putting out surveys and flyers and QRs and just asking people what they want and what they need, there's no better way to understand exactly what you're supposed to be advocating for. When dealing with administration, even if things aren't going your way, it's important to stay strong and just really understand who you're advocating for and why.
What is one challenge you feel most freshmen face on campus that you could realistically help solve?
Thank you for that question. And I feel like the answer to that is definitely community. Within CNAHS, I personally didn't know any CNAHS freshmen until campaign season when I met many of these lovely young ladies. And that's a huge problem, especially when people are coming from all over the country. Nobody truly knows each other. So I would work to create those spaces in which people can laugh and struggle together and actually create those bonds that are so necessary to create those lifelong relationships to help network and just create a space that's safe for everyone.
How do you think Howard can better connect with freshmen who feel disengaged from campus life?
Thank you for that question. And the answer is communication. We've all seen and experienced struggles with Howard's communication, whether it is through your specific college or the administration in general. Communication is a big issue. There are a lot of opportunities, scholarships, research, internships that go unmissed and unheard of simply because students don't know that they're there. So to really increase that communication and to work towards having better communication between faculty and students is extremely important when you want your students to succeed and you want them to get every single opportunity that they can out of this college.
What role do you think you would play in creating more inclusive and equitable campus community for freshmen?
Thank you for that. I would play the role of advocacy and just asking what students need. There's no better way to understand it unless you ask. To personally go up to people and ask what their struggles are, how would they best feel best included within Howard's campus, and how they would feel, what opportunities they would want to see and what things what change they would want to see. And just serving as that buffer between the president of freshman council as well as administration, and just allowing people to see that your voice is being heard, and if given the opportunity, we will make that happen.
This now concludes the moderated question portion of tonight's event. The audience will now have an opportunity to pose questions to the candidate. Audience members, please make sure that your questions are general. This is not a crossfire, and any pointed questions should be reserved for that event. Again, candidate, you will have 1 minute to respond to each question.
Hello, my name is Eileen Nancy. I'm a sophomore, international affairs major, legal English minor from Miami, Georgia. My question for you is, how do you plan to make external opportunities like volunteering or internships accessible and aware to CNAHS students?
Thank you for your question. And again, it all starts with communication. Not knowing that the opportunity is there is already a failure, right? You can't apply, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. If you don't take any, you won't get any of the opportunities. And creating those mentorship opportunities and events, seeing things that other Howard students have done. I know many girls upperclassmen who have done a lot of these opportunities and are able to help and guide underclassmen into receiving those same opportunities. So starting there and helping with applications and resumes and other things are the first crucial step into gaining those opportunities.
This now concludes the audience question portion of tonight's event. Let's give our candidate a round of applause. On behalf of the commission, we would like to thank you for your attendance and participation in tonight's event. Please make sure that you're following the commission Instagram account for updates about the upcoming crossfire and election schedule. Again, thank you for being here tonight, and this now concludes the event. Thank you. And please give the secretary. Welcome back to the Speak Out for Freshman Council. First, the candidate will be answering moderated questions that have already been prepared. Each candidate will have 1 minute to respond to each question. If you are running a slate, one representative will answer each question posed. At the end of the moderated question portion, the audience will be able to pose questions to the candidates about their platforms and intended plans for the desired position. Again, candidate, you will have 1 minute to respond. In addition, please hold your applause until the close of each portion of tonight's event. Again, thank you for attending tonight's event, and we will now begin. Candidate, please take 30 seconds to introduce yourself and your platform.
Hello everyone, my name is Abigail Samuels. I'm a freshman health science major from Miami, Florida, by way of Jamaica, and I'm having my slate on the platform of SASCOS, which stands for Service, Action, Support, and Scholarship. Thank you.
First question. What has been your biggest challenge adjusting to college so far, and how can the council, or your council, help make the transition easier?
Thank you for your question. So I would definitely say that the hardest challenge that has been since adjusting and moving to Howard is definitely time management. Health science is a very demanding field in general, and just balancing time to be with your friends, working on your major, and just being involved in campus has definitely been a struggle, especially for me. So one thing that I would like to do with my platform is offer support to other freshmen in CNAHS to just make them know that they're not alone and that we can offer services to help them better manage their time. Yeah.
Next question. How do you plan to keep students informed about important events, deadlines, and opportunities within CNAHS?
Thank you for your question. So I would reiterate on what my vice president said on the slate, that the main thing that we would need to focus on is communication, because there are a lot of opportunities at our university, but the main thing that happens is that people don't know about it. So I would definitely focus on communicating with our student body, especially as CNAHS is such a small college. I feel like if we were to go through like Instagram and we post with larger platforms on Instagram, or even just posting flyers around the school would keep people aware of what's going on, especially CNAHS freshmen. Thank you.
How will you work with other officers and organizations to make CNAHS events run smoothly?
Thank you for your question. So I would definitely say just communicating would be the most important part, because you cannot run the school show by yourself. You're going to need support from other people, especially from like co-ops. So it doesn't only have to be CNAHS. We're all working together for the betterment of the students. So I would definitely say communication is key, and knowing that you're a part of the team. We're not divided by schools. We're all one big body of Howard students. So I feel like that is extremely important, especially for everyone here.
What new ideas or tools would you bring to the role of secretary to make communication and organization more effective for CNAHS students?
Thank you for your question. I definitely would try to reiterate, will put more emphasis on using like forms and posting them on Instagram because I won't know a concern that a student has unless they tell me. So my main focus would definitely be to do like Google Forms and have like polls on Instagram so people can reach out to me because I'm very personable and it's like if you have a concern, I would want to know to address that. So that would definitely be like my main initiative if I do get elected as secretary of CNAHS.
This now concludes the moderated question portion of tonight's event. The audience will now have an opportunity to pose questions to the candidate. Audience members, please make sure that your questions are genuine. As this is not a crossfire, any pointed questions should be reserved for that event. Again, candidate, you will have 1 minute to respond to each question.
Hello, my name is Eileen Manji. I'm an international affairs major, legal business minor from Atlanta, Georgia. My question for you is how do you plan to work alongside other councils such as CNAHS or SLB Freshman Council to better advance Howard students as a whole?
Thank you so much for your question. So I definitely do plan to work with other schools to advance the whole freshman body, not just CNAHS. I would definitely do reach outs through like Instagram and just like meetings in general. I would reach out to them and say like, hey, like, do you mind like anything that you've been hearing from your students that may also be a struggle for my students, just so that not just because we're different colleges doesn't mean we don't struggle with the same things. Because I know that a lot of people in CNAHS are on the premium track, and that's the same for co-ops. So I feel like the most important thing would be communication and making sure everyone is kept in the loop. Yeah, thank you for your question.
This now concludes the audience question portion of tonight's event. Let's give our candidate a round of applause. On behalf of the commission, we would like to thank you for your attendance and participation in tonight's event. Please make sure that you are following the commission Instagram account for updates and upcoming crossfire and election schedules. Again, we thank you for being here at tonight's event, and this now concludes the event. Thank you. Treasurer. And freshman representative. Vice President. Welcome back to Speak Out for Freshman Council. First, the candidate will be answering moderated questions that have already been prepared. Each candidate will have 1 minute to respond to each question. If you are running as a slate, one representative will answer each question posed. At the end of the moderated question portion, the audience will be able to pose questions to the candidate about their platforms and intended plans for the desired role. Again, candidate, you will have 1 minute to respond. In addition, please hold your applause until the close of each portion of tonight's event. Again, thank you for attending tonight's event, and we will now begin. Candidate, please take 30 seconds to introduce yourself and your platform.
Hello everyone, my name is Sophia Margay. I'm a freshman health science major from Lagos, Nigeria, and I'm running with the SAS Girls for Freshman Seniors Council. We stand for service, action, support, and scholarship, and I'm running for the freshman representative position.
First question. What motivated you to run for freshman representative, and how do you hope to make an impact this year?
Okay, thank you for the question. I think one of my biggest motivations to run for freshman council in general and also freshman representative is because I felt like I wasn't receiving like enough communication. I felt like I didn't know enough people in CNAHS. I felt like I was I'll just not exist in the CNAHS as a person because I had a lot of friends in COAS, SOB, they were like, oh, I'm doing this for COAS, I'm doing this for SOB, but I never really experienced that as a CNAHS freshman. I was like, oh, I want to make a change. So when I saw the position of the freshman representative available and just a freshman council, I decided that, okay, I'm just running the rep, as the rep is actually the face of the CNAHS freshman. I want to be that face and that person that is allowing to build a community, creating opportunities for other people, and just keeping people aware and not.
How would you handle feedback or criticism from your freshman peers?
Thank you for the question. So, like my statement said earlier, they want to like get to know what people have problems with through Google Forms, and I feel like speaking your mind is like a major thing that I'm all about. I love when people have like say what's on their mind, be it like the good or the bad. I feel like criticism is actually not from a point of hatred, but rather from a point of frustration, and I understand people's frustration. So I would take criticism as a way to like, okay, now I'm aware of this problem, how can I solve it? Rather than, oh, why are they saying this about me and that? And I feel like just getting like feedback in general, good, bad, the ugly, everything and all above, I'm able to like create like, oh, this is the problem, this is the solution, this is what people like, this is what people don't like, and I'm able to like grow and build from it, not just as a person, but also as my state and like as a council.
Great question. What is one word you'd use to describe your vision for the freshman council and why?
Okay, the word I'll use to actually I'm gonna use SAS, that's the name of our slate. So it's actually like 4 values, but it is one word. And it's because it encompasses everything, both the good, the bad, and the ugly of CNAHS. And I think that's the word I'll use. So SAS stands for service. I love service. I believe in community service because you have to give back to the community that raised you. You're just in action. You're not just about words. You're actually you're actually going through what you say. If I say I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it. Support, mentors, mentees. The reason why I'm not in the dark for most of this, especially this opportunity, is because I had a mentor. And then scholarship. Scholarship is not just about money, but also creating a bond of people that are just like you and have the same aspirations as you, as students, and all of that. So yes, that's the word I used to describe my motive and my vision.
Last question. How will you ensure you're accessible and approachable to your classmates throughout this year?
Okay, thank you for the question. And how I'm sure I'm accessible and approachable. First things first, I'm actually always everywhere. Like the reason why I met my slate is because I was being a friendly person. I said, oh, hello, how are you? And that's how I became a slate. So I'm someone that's easily approachable. I have like a very friendly face. I'm always smiling and up and about. So just like, not even just like, so people that are shy, that's because I also tend to be shy sometimes. So for people that are shy, I'm approachable through Instagram DMs. I'm approachable through any method. I don't have a conventional means. I don't have an always means. Unconventional, conventional. Anyhow you contact me, I am available.
This now concludes the moderated question portion of tonight's event. The audience will now have an opportunity to pose questions to the candidate. Audience members, please make sure that your questions are general, as this is not a crossfire, and any pointed question should be saved for that event. Again, candidate, you will have 1 minute to respond to each question. Any questions?
Good evening, my name is Harrington Cummings. I'm a junior biology major with a double minor in chemistry and naval science from San Diego, California. And my question is, what is a problem that you notice a lot of freshmen have, and what pillars did you guys make to help with that problem?
Thank you for that question. And actually, the problem that I feel like has been reoccurring tonight is the fact that we just don't know what's going on. And the reason, and the pillar we created was support. So support is how they encompass, that's like one of the things I suggested, which is mentor-mentee programs. The reason why I'm aware of most of these that happen in CNAHS right now is because I actually do have a mentor that's in the class above me, and she was like, oh, what do you think about this? Do you want to influence me? Do you think about this club? Are you interested in this? Are you interested in that? So having older people, sophomores, juniors, seniors, especially in the CNAHS, College of Nursing Health Sciences, to mentor new students, like the freshmen and also transfer students, will create like the opportunity to like keep students out of the dark and actually like keep students like up to date on what's going on, because that is a major problem in CNAHS.
Yes.
So again, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jose. I'm a freshman in company major at Crazy. So what is, how do you plan to appeal to your student life? How do you plan to appeal to your student life?
Oh, I'm not guys, I think to my ceremony. Okay, so how do I think? So I think that how to is by making myself approachable, making myself available, and last but not least, not leaving students in the dark. I like carrying people along with me, and that is what I think makes me like a good person, like appealable and like marketable to like my student body because at the end of the day, no one wants a standoffish person. Nobody wants somebody that's like snobby or whatever. So making yourself approachable and easily accessible is the easiest way to appeal to the student body.
This now concludes the audience question portion of tonight's event. Let's give our candidate a round of applause. On behalf of the commission, we would like to thank you for your attendance and participation in tonight's event. Please make sure that you are following the commission Instagram account for updates about the upcoming crossfire and election schedule. Again, thank you for being here tonight, and this now concludes the event. Thank you.
Okay, everyone, we're gonna take a very quick, thank you. We're gonna take a very quick break, so around 6:10-ish, we're gonna get started with SOE.